Hey, good morning, it's Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Well, we're into tax season right now, 2013, and not a day goes by when I'm not on the hearing on the radio or TV talking about Canadian saving for retirement. It's a hot topic right now in tax season, and I guess like a lot of countries, including the US, Canadians just aren't saving enough money for retirement. They're not able to put enough money into that RRSP or that TFSA. Very few Canadians are maxing out those two vehicles, and for good reason. It's tough out there. Economy still isn't all that great. After you deduct all your expenses for food, for clothing, for shelter, for the kids, it's pretty difficult to max out that RRSP. But one of the best tax shelters out there, pretty much the only true tax shelter we have still in Canada, they don't give us much, is owning your own home. Now, home ownership is at an all-time high. I think we're about 67% of Canadians own their principal residence. But that still means that over 30–35% don't. So if you don't, it should be at the top of your priority list. And here's why. You buy, let's say, and I just had this example with a young couple I was working with last month, bought their first detached home. It was a small home, 1,400 square feet on a 33 by 120 lot in Steveston North. Paid $605,000 for it. These homes are well off their highs that they were garnering a couple of years ago. $605,000 for a detached home. You can expect that home, based on past performance, and this is conservative past performance, doubling every 15 years. If you would have bought a detached home 8 years ago, you'd be doubling your money, but I don't think it's going to continue at that pace. But every 15 years is pretty conservative. So that $600,000 home 15 years from now will be worth 1.2. 25 years from now, let's say it's worth 1.6 or 1.7. Now, this young couple, they're in their early 60s and they decide to retire. They decide to sell the house. Well, guess what? All that money has grown, and all that capital gain comes out completely tax-free. That $1.6 million is theirs free and clear. Put it in perspective, an RRSP is great, but remember, with an RRSP, all you're doing is deferring the taxes. The tax man is going to come calling once you start drawing that money out, and they're going to tax you at your marginal tax rate at that time. So to net what you would from a principal residence, 1.6 let's say in this example, you're going to need about $2.5 million in an RRSP to get what you would have gotten out of your principal residence. So owning your home should be at the top of your priority list if you haven't done it already. As I say, most Canadians do. Now, I remember 10 or 15 years ago, there was that old analogy where people were throwing out, oh, I rent, and then I invest the difference. Well, that might have worked 10 or 12 years ago, 20 years ago when we had double-digit mortgage rates, but it doesn't work when you've got 2.89%. The cost of renting now on the Lower Mainland really isn't much cheaper at all as opposed to buying. And most people simply don't have the discipline to rent, save the difference. They usually spend the difference. But principal residence, best tax shelter we have right now. Make sure you're taking advantage of it. I'm Owen Bigland. Thanks for watching. You can always reach me at owen@owenbigland.com. Start following me on Twitter @OwenBigland. See you next time.